How's it going? What's up, the crypto god one? Here. I want to make sure the game is actually running. Actually, I don't need to run the game to do testing. Anyway, for those of you who are watching, welcome. I'm going to do a short stream. I'm going to try to add testing over this game I'm working on. At some point, probably a good idea to test the software you're writing, especially as it gets larger and larger, and you may have people contribute to it. It's easier if you can just run a test suite and it just lets you know that, hey, you broke something, versus you find out in 2 months that there's a random feature you haven't used and it's just not working anymore, right? Little recap of what I've been trying to work on is I brought in Vitest and I added a tests folder inside of this whole game. So like, let's just start at the root level in case you're not familiar with how this is kind of set up. I got some packages here, and inside the game server, that's why I want to focus on testing first, because that's where like the core logic of everything is. When you're writing tests, like I would recommend write the test that's going to give you the most value for the time you're about to invest. Whoa, trying to take viewers from Theo? No, I just stream on Wednesdays and Sundays. But yeah, if this is his like set time, he streams for like 8 hours. So I mean, like, it's hard to find a time that's like not. I guess I could do Thursdays or something. That's a good point. I'll keep that in mind. I don't want to like take viewers away from him. But I already had it in mind to try to do some refactoring, and I won't be doing it for too long. So thanks for pointing that out. So we have this test file, and inside this test folder, we have some enemies. I'm planning to like test the zombie. So like spawn a zombie and then have a bullet next to it. And then if the bullet were to move into the zombie, it would kill the zombie, and I can kind of like check and assert the state of the system with that. Well, I guess thanks for pointing out that you're kidding, but like it's the content creation space, especially when coding is like so small, and it's like I don't want to feel like I'm taking views away. I think it'd be hard to take views from Theo anyway. Like no one wants to watch me make some TypeScript. But yeah, so I'm writing this test here, okay? And in writing the test, I had to kind of like look through the code and try to figure out how I can mock certain things out, because like to test this system, I'm bringing in higher level components. Like I don't want to do unit testing. I think it's a waste of time for a lot of scenarios. I want to do a higher level test that creates some entities, and then it kind of creates a bare bones map or something. And I can verify these entities if they work the way they're supposed to. Because like, for example, you could write a test over some of these functions. I just find like it would be kind of pointless, right? I want to know how stuff works together, not how stuff works in isolation. I'm using, what theme am I using? I think it's, right now it's bearded theme stained blue. Oh, what's up, Tobias? How's it going? What's up? More people coming from Theo's stream? All right, well, tell him I'm sorry. I'm going to pick a different day to stream next time. I want to make sure he's not live. But it's all good. Okay, I don't know if I'll make any progress tonight. I actually did a lot of work at my real job, so I'm tired. All right, but bullet kills zombie and both are removed. So what we're trying to do is I want to set up the entities in such a way that I can kind of simulate a bullet hitting a zombie. Okay, so let's just kind of comment out some of the stuff that's red, the way I like to do it. Even starting like all the way back here, like what are we trying to do? We're trying to make a zombie, and in order to make a zombie, you have to pass a couple of things into the constructor. We could do some type of like dependency inversion container or whatever it's called, IOC container, which might simplify some of these things. But right now, if I could just get a simple test going and kind of mock out the map manager, the socket manager. So let's look at the zombie and try to figure out what I need to do to mock this out. So let's just pretend that it does like a zombie.update. Or do we want to update the bullet? Like I want to actually like run a tick. I want to do like game update all entities in game, and then I can say like assert stuff happened. Okay. So typically when you make a test, there's like 3 parts. There's like the setup, and then you have like the action, and then you have an assert statement. So like you should expect something to be true, like this, at the end. But I mean, you're going to check more things than that. You're going to check that the zombie is dead. So maybe even working backwards is an approach. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, but like the idea is here. I want to basically, I'll say to do, set up a zombie at a position, and then also set up a bullet next to the zombie. Give the bullet a velocity towards the movable zombie. I'm trying not to use AI as well. I think I used AI for some of this stuff. So the zombie at a position, let's just say zombie dot set position, and we'll give it a vector. Did I call it a vector? I don't know why this is not getting imported, but let's try this. Did that work? Vector generally refers to our type as being used as a value here. Oh, I think it's actually called, did I call it point? Bro. I feel like something got deleted. Like, I'm just using types here. I feel like I should at least have like a vector too, right? I don't know why I didn't have that already. Let's just do that. You know, I think I'm getting distracted. I think this is going to cause a lot more refactoring than I wanted to do. Okay, let's just do this. I think the issue is that, like, I need to do this right now. Kind of sucky, but this is why you should probably use a game engine instead of trying to build your own, right? So set the zombie at a position. I'll say like 0, 2, and then we're going to make a bullet, which I'm going to grab this code here. Move it up there. And then we'll make a new bullet. And then we probably want to... Oh, I see. Hold on. I don't want to do these. I might even turn AI off. It's kind of messing me up. So make a bullet, and then we're going to set a position as well. Actually, we don't have to do that at velocity. Let's put the bullet and the zombie over each other, and then just update them. In fact, I could say bullet.update, maybe. Update bullet, update positions. But is there an update method? As an updatable. Update bullet. Okay, I see. I see. So we'll say bullet, get extension. I swear I wrote this code. Some of it at least. So we want to get the updatable extension from the bullet. And then we want to call just like update on it. And that should do like a lot of the logic. We could just go ahead and just put a fake delta time so that it doesn't actually like try to move anything. Does this seem right? I'm just going to put the bullet and the zombie right over each other. Let's keep this as simple as possible. And then down here, we are going to assert. I need to put comments here. Who puts comments in codes? Let's delete that. Let's delete some other stuff we're not using. Down here, we're going to say zombie dot. I think this is a destructible. So I think I could go ahead and say destructible, and then we'll do like this. How much health does the zombie start with? set max health, set health. So after it gets hit, it should go down to 2, which I could probably not hard code that. Let's say zombie dot. Let's go here. Do we have a health, a max health? We should probably not have magic numbers there. It's probably not good. So private static max health of 3. We'll go ahead and just update that. And then here we can say zombie dot. Did I make that private? There. Okay, so move this over. Spawn a bullet, let it hit the zombie, update it, and then it should drop the health by 1. And then the bullet should be removed, so expect... How are we going to know if this is removable? This has a collidable, an updatable, which calls update bullet, handles intersections, and then it calls destructible.damage to the zombie, and then it's going to mark this entity for removal. So what does this do? This just pushes it into entities to remove. So I think that might be a private method or member, entities to remove. So I might need to go here and like go to the entity manager and just give it a get entities to remove so that we can at least get access to it. Okay, and then down here, we're going to go ahead and say get entities remove, and then it should have only one thing in it. It should be that zombie. So I mean, it should be the bullet. An array of ID and expiration. Okay. Yeah. So it should just have the bullet, not the zombie. Okay, so we're making some progress. Writing tests is hard sometimes. So you do a little mocks and integration testing. Damn, you're building a whole game engine yourself. That's super cool. I'm trying to build a game. I probably shouldn't have done the game engine myself. Testing can be fun. Testing is very important. Like, I've honestly never worked at a company who doesn't test their code. Do you work at a company who tests their code? Leave a comment. Is it late where I live? It's like 8 o'clock, I think. The VS Code theme is bearded theme stained blue today. Justin Chang agreed. I also think unit tests are a waste of time. Well, let me correct myself if that's what I said. I don't think unit testing is a waste of time. I just think that the effort you put into writing all the unit tests doesn't give this as strong as value than writing some type of integration test that verifies things connected together. I mean, you guys all hear, like, the higher you go, the higher on the pyramid of testing, when you get to end-to-end tests, it's just very hard not to make brittle tests. They're hard to maintain. They cost money to run because they're slow. But to me, an end-to-end test tells me that, hey, like, this thing we're about to deploy to production, we are pretty certain it has no issues. Granted, there's still times you write bad tests and you miss bugs, but a unit test does not give me that confidence, right? When a unit test is green, I'm not like, yes, this app could be shipped to prod. No, I need integration tests and end-to-end tests pass before I feel confident. But what were we doing here? So we're trying to basically update the bullet, because a bullet is the thing that acts upon the other entities and kind of damages them, and then it broadcasts an event. Bullet, I'm just going to say bullet hurts the zombie when it intersects with it and removes itself. I'll make it read like English. A bullet should hurt a zombie during collisions and it removes itself. So this is testing multiple things. It's testing that, hey, can a bullet collide with a zombie? Does a zombie have health that we can check? Does the bullet remove itself? And I think later I could probably add more stuff if there's more I want to assert, but I think this is a pretty good test. It's like small enough to integrate a couple of things together, but not too large that it's going to take me like 2 days to write. Okay, so let's work backwards. To make a bullet, it just needs an entity manager, right? So that's easy. This stuff goes away. This zombie, for some reason, it needs the map manager and the socket manager. Okay, the socket manager, in this scenario, technically we don't need it. And I think what I was going to actually do was I was in the process of making a new type of interface called a broadcaster, because I think the socket manager is only used one time here. It's a socket manager .broadcast event. Okay, this is the only thing I'm using the socket manager for. I think server socket manager, server socket. And well, I guess it's used down here in inventory. So then we have to go here. What is this server socket manager actually used here for? It's used for broadcasting the event. Okay, so in my opinion, this thing, understanding and knowing about the socket manager, which does quite a lot of stuff, I feel like you're letting a component or a class know too much about the world. And so I would like to kind of refactor this. The inventory, I could do like a broadcaster. Okay, and that's an interface, I believe. And then we're going to go ahead and rename this the broadcaster. Like this. And then somewhere down here, I think it was used, the broadcaster broadcast event, okay? Same thing with the zombie. So if we go ahead and close this and go back to the socket manager, we are going to import that broadcaster, all right? Also, we're going to go ahead and just call this the broadcaster. Okay, just go ahead and refactor some places. Okay, this is looking good now. Again, the only method we're using on the server socket manager was the broadcaster, and so it's like, let's just define a small little interface where you can separate these things. You guys can correct me in the comments if you think this is stupid, but so now that I've done that, this thing is happy because it's getting past a mock socket manager, and now is in the process of implementing that interface so that I can make a really small thing and I can mock out the functionality of it, which is just going to console log. Maybe at some point I can make this have a spy. I could do a mock or a stub, and I can assert that it kind of gets invoked with particular arguments. But for right now, it's like, let's just console log it, because that is not what the test cares about. I don't care about the broadcast event because it doesn't happen until the zombie's killed. Okay, so I'm trying to walk you through my mindset of like, do like the simplest thing first, because it can get kind of overwhelming if you keep on trying to do too much. Now we have to make this happy. This is the last error. Let's look at the map manager. Why is this thing not happy? Because it takes an entity manager, and for some reason I used AI and it just plopped in a socket manager there. Okay, so we got to test. Will this work? Probably not. The cool thing about Vitest is when you save a file, it'll just automatically rerun your tests. So it's super fast too. I've used Jest in production, and bro, when you have like a ton of tests, Jest takes forever, and it also eats up all the memory. I don't know what they did with Jest or why Vitest is so much faster, and I think I read about it at one point. You know me, I don't read the documentation. I just, oh, Vitest is faster? Let's just install it and use it. Ooh, Bun is faster? Let's just install it and use it. I don't care. I probably should. I should probably look into what makes it so much faster. It's probably using like Go under the hood or something. Maybe it's using Rust under the hood. Anyway, welcome to my distracting stream. We are going to try to get this test passing. So why is this failing? Why is this thing failing? Let's just rerun it, because sometimes like I notice that the output doesn't always give me what I want. All right, so when you see some red, read it. Failed to load URL. Does the file exist? I think, is this like a relative absolute path issue? I've been having so many problems with the absolute path here. Zombie death. Failed to load URL. Shared entity zombie. Why could I not load this in? I think if I change this to something else, let's just see if this will make it work. Is that the right location? Game server. That was the right. I was missing source. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't have time to like figure out the absolute. Every time I use the @ symbol in this project, it just stuff breaks. Like everywhere, stuff breaks. Kind of annoying. Class extends the value undefined is not a constructor or null. This looks like integration test. Yeah, I'm testing at a higher level. ES modules and some native browser thingies, probably why it's faster. Just like tsconfig, you need to add @paths to testing config maybe. Yeah, I'm sure there's some person who's super smart watching me. He's like, oh yeah, simply just go in here and like, you just have to add paths. But I have it. But you're saying I need to add like another tsconfig inside the test folder? The testing config. I don't even have a testing config. That was one of those things where it's like, dude, I could probably spend a whole day trying to figure this out. You know those bugs where it's like, you know it's going to suck doing because it's just like going to be a wild goose chase, and you might get lucky and solve it in like 10 seconds, or you might get unlucky and it takes you 2 days to figure it out. I feel like that's one of these issues, and I'm just not mentally ready to invest my whole time fixing the paths. So I don't do it. But let's just run this again. Tree extends entity. Why is there tree getting brought in here? Class extends value undefined is not a constructor or null. The map manager. Oh, okay, the map manager. Let me just put that in, like, set up a Vitest config .ts file in the test directory so that absolute imports don't break everything. All right, we'll come back to that. Okay, so what are we running to? Yeah, I have a series. This is yeah, I have a playlist already for this stream. Wait, do I? Maybe I don't. I'll try to make this a playlist, okay? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yo, Cody, love the stream. Thanks for streaming. No problem. Let me do live chat. F them paths, bro. I hate. This is the main reason I'm like, dude. When I code and Go, it's just it feels nice. Like you feel like you're using something that was like well made. Typescript just feels like a giant cluster. Typescript, JavaScript, Node, ESM. Just it's crazy. What's up, Yako Bisadi 2? All right, where are we at? 25 minutes in, we've done nothing, but you guys have learned something, and that's what really matters. So, class extends value of undefined is not a constructor null. What the heck does this mean? Class extends value undefined. It's almost like it can't find entity, right? Get rid of that, get rid of that. An abstract class. Is that why? I made it abstract. Why? Why did I make this abstract? There's nothing here that's abstract and like required. Extends a generic entity. I don't think that would matter, right? Because the tree's extending it, so like why would that? I feel like this is a pathing issue, right? This is going to be like, oh, if I asked AI to fix this, it's going to be like, oh, you just need to add like an MJS file extension. Bro, that's another thing I don't care about learning about. Like, ugh, just, it's crazy. Okay. Why can't this work? Okay. When you get stuck and you gotta call it, man. Sometimes you gotta call it and be like, I could use AI, I could Google, or I could keep on trying to bash my head on the error that I probably should know what it means if I was a good engineer, but like I don't. So we go and we ask AI because in 5 seconds it gives you something that may help you solve your problem. Indicates that entity is not properly imported in tree file. This is causing a cascading error since map manager likely depends on the tree class. Yeah, this is like pathing. You know what? Let's just make that tsconfig file, whatever. TS. Entity is a scoped name. What was it called again? Cody, you put me onto Convex and it's so good. I just wish their auth was better. It's a little convoluted. I don't like how their clerk mates all routes dynamic. So you're using clerk with it? I mean, I've been using like the Convex auth package. I guess it depends on your needs. Again, it's like alpha or beta. So lots of love from India. Welcome. Did you try Adonis? I've tried it a long time ago. I think I actually have a tutorial on my channel about Adonis like years ago. Yeah. Just didn't feel like for me. You know, I'm not a big fan of like the whole like Laravel, everything's packaged together. What else was there? What's one? There's Adonis and there's like sales. I don't know, man. I just don't like projects that are like maintained by like, well, Laravel's maintained by a ton of people, so I shouldn't say that. Anyway, someone said entity is a scoped name. I'm not sure I understand what that even means. Go to Vitest. All right. I probably didn't even configure this correctly. To create the Vitest configuration file, follow the guide. Okay, if you're using Vite and have a Vitest config. I'm not using Vite. Everything in my project extends entity from the framework. It's a known defined class by a framework. Oh, I'm not using a framework though. Maybe I don't understand you. Go back. The entity class exists and is properly exported from its source file. The entity path is correct relative to the tree file location. I feel like sometimes it's because these things have, like it's probably importing something that might do absolute pathing. Entity manager. Guess I could delete that one. There's a tree. Hey, Theo with the raid. What's up? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Theo, if you're watching, I appreciate you. We all appreciate you and the content you make. Thank you so much, and thank you for the raid. Now you guys get to watch me struggle on TypeScript. You're my favorite HTMX streamer. Please. Please. Type 1 in chat if you actually use HTMX. Like you legit use it. Because I don't know. Yeah, 0 all the way. Ain't no one uses it. You guys are just like memeing everybody. How's your night going, everyone? I'm just working on this little zombie game that I started at the end of the year. I don't know how to deal with chat, so if there's like 300 people in this chat right now, you're in for a boring ride. Working on a project that uses JT. Does that count? I'm CEO. Everyone's CEO of HTMX, man. Even I'm a CEO. I like HTMX because it lets people who don't want to make good web apps more easily make an okay one. Okay, that makes sense. How long did you stream today, Theo? Like, what time do you normally stream? Some people came over early and they're like, "Hey, I left Theo stream." I'm like, "Oh crap, I totally forgot Theo. I think he streams on Wednesdays." So I'm not trying to steal your viewers, but I kind of am, you know? Trying to get those raids. I usually do 1 p.m. Oh, so you're at the very end of your streams. Bro, how do you stream for 8 hours? That's crazy. I feel like after 1 hour, my voice is gone. And then after like an hour and a half, my brain's gone. Let's see. Oh. It's crazy. I think like we don't realize how small the content creator space is in programming. Like just like a small handful of people who stream, right? I try to scroll through Twitch once in a while and just find random people working on their games and watch them. I watch them in silence. Do I stream often? I'm trying to stream twice a week. Oh, what is this? We did it. Thanks for all the support. 11 out of 10. Gifted 10 1 subs. Oh, 10 tier 1 subs. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, I'm such a noob. Like, I've even watched Theo in Primogen stream and like all this hype train stuff. I'm like, I feel like I'm just old. I feel like they're just the same age as me, but like I'm just like an old person. I don't understand what the hype train is. It took me forever to get my notifications set up in Twitch. I think Theo rated me like months ago, and I didn't have notifications. Hey, thank you. What'd you gift? I can't even see that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hype train started. What happened to your SaaS products? I really like that series. I had to cut back on all my stuff, bro. Like, I was doing too much. Juggling too much. We reached a new sub goal of 10. Nice. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to read chat. My bad. Theo's replying to me. I didn't mean reading anything. Sorry to everyone who subbed. I forgot to shout out. I feel really bad, but I'm so late. Anyway, have fun, me. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Enjoy your event. Are you guys getting the fire? I mean, like, I keep hearing about fires in LA, but I don't think you guys would be affected by that, would you? Isn't LA, like, decently far away from San Diego or San Francisco? If I didn't literally hire the team to build hype trains, I probably wouldn't know what they were either. I don't have any notifications on my stream either. Why did you use Why did you use just Canvas and not any minimalistic JS game lib? Is it for learning purposes? Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to like challenge myself and build something. I feel like in web dev, like we're constantly using libraries and frameworks and just like at some point you got to kind of dive deeper. I know Primogen's talked about this, like build your own game engine just for fun. How many projects do you have? Too many. I had like the icon generator AI one. That's still going. People still buy icons. Hey, thanks for the 100 bits. And then I have Project Planner AI. That's one I worked on, and I started working on like a face. Is it called a headless video, or just uses AI to generate videos, or it creates the captions of the videos and the images and the audio. And then there's like all these other things I've worked on. Too many projects. And so this year I'm trying to change it up a little bit. I'm trying to focus on like 1 or 2 projects. That's it. Those are going to be like my core content for this whole year if I keep at it. So like there's this game that I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to add tests to this game right now, honestly. I could probably run the game and show you all. Probably completely broken, but luckily, I mean, I should be able to get stash and just like, let's see if this works. So this is one of the projects. Let's see, localhost. Oh, let's see here. Not working. Why is this not working? Bro. Let me check something. Oh, I'm in the game server. That's why. Hold on. Let's go up a level. And then we'll say npm run dev. I was trying to do like a mono repo type of thing, which honestly I just had never had the chance to really try myself. But I'm using npm workspaces, and my relative and absolute end paths are just like all messed up. Again, just a learning experience. All right, so this is what I've been working on. If you guys are still here, basically I'm trying to make an online multiplayer game. I think I have another tab open, so like a player joined. Oh shoot. So I got torches we can drop down, and it illuminates the area. We got some spikes, and when zombies walk over them, they'll get automatically hit. We have crafting, or at least we're trying to. Let's see if I can load up the crafting menu. How do I do this? There needs to be a little bit of UX. The user experience for this game's a little rough. Well, we got little walls, so like you can actually wall yourself off, and then the zombies will try to hit you. We have like pathfinding hooked in here. A lot of stuff I want to add in, and we're making some good progress. We got the flames, and then if you walk over, you catch fire, and then you die. And then right now the server, I think, just hard crashes. That's it. That's one of the things I want to focus on for this year. And just like, I don't know, do I have ADHD? Do I have ADD? Like I jump from project to project to project. So I'm trying to like force my brain to like stay focused on 1 or 2 projects. The other project I'm going to start this year, probably going to stick with the more traditional Next.js application. I want to build an app where I can actually track health related things. So like I started doing something with medicine, but now I want to track like the food you eat, the exercising, the medicine, I don't know, blood pressure, heart rate, stuff like that. Just for fun. I know you have like Apple Heart or Apple Health, whatever. Hey, thanks for the sub. Why is the bottom of your screen cut off? Because honestly, if someone could help me, I'm streaming on a MacBook Pro, but like the resolution is not 1080p. But I'm using OBS, and like I feel like you have to do a 1080p output, and so it like cuts off the bottom. I'm sure you guys know in the chat. Is there a way I can get like a true 1080p resolution so that OBS can record my whole screen? I've been doing this cutoff at the bottom for like years, and I'm just too lazy to go look up like a solution for it. hype train. How long did it take you to make this? How much time did Cursor gain you? Cursor did a lot. Okay, Cursor definitely made this fast. Like, if I tried to code this myself, I would not have made this much progress. But it's reaching the point now where I auto-accepted so much code from Cursor, using like the Cursor Composer, using like the Cursor Chat, that I reached a point where my like intellectual control over my project started to slip. I didn't really understand like what files and classes I had, so I kind of put a pause on using Cursor so much. And then I refactored the code, and I'm trying to split things out into smaller modules manually, and then I use Cursor mainly for like, okay, like auto tab complete for like getters and setters and other things. But yes, that's something I found out with using Cursor on a brand new project, is that unless you have a good design and architecture up front, Cursor just builds on your existing code. And so you have to kind of like wait and like pause and hold on a second. I have people joining on Discord who are saying the code is messy. And I'm like, okay, well, let's try to fix the code, because I can't have people judge my code, you know? What are you using to stream? I'm using OBS. Yeah, I don't have any Twitch things set up, so you don't even have to try. Don't worry about it. It won't work. What's your GitHub URL for this? Let me find it. No, I'm not Canadian. I'm not Canadian. I am American. I live in the US. Can you stream 16:10 on Twitch? Oh, I don't know. Why did I open source it? Why not? You know? Figure someone could read through my code and give me feedback too, which has been helpful. Like, I've had people join my Discord who, there's this one guy who joined and he's like refactoring the entire code base, like at the network layer where we use socket IO, so server socket manager. And he's like adding in, I think, delta compression so that only the things that change on the server get sent over to the clients. Because right now, every tick, if you don't know how a game server works, you have like a loop, and it tries to loop as fast as possible. So right now, my tick rate's like 33. I could probably get away with 20. But the point is, you want to just do the physics simulations and the updates at a certain rate so that everyone can kind of see the game at a nice, smooth play rate, and have like an accurate, in terms of like latency, like the higher the tick rate, typically the more registration you're going to have with like entities and stuff. You guys are gamers, right? You guys have played Counter-Strike Go and whatnot. You know how it works. But yeah, he's basically adding delta compression. And then he's also doing like some type of like protobuf. He like wrote his own protobuf implementation, and he's like wrapping socket IO to send over byte arrays instead of like me just sending over a bunch of objects. So I'm just letting him do it, you know? I'm hoping I'll make a PR for it, and then we can kind of like look through his code and pretend like we know what it's doing. But that will be interesting. And then there's another person named Aaron who's been contributing a lot to this game as well. This wasn't all me. This is another person as well. I kind of spent a lot of time like building out the entities and like the game design stuff. And then Aaron, really good developer. If you're looking to hire someone, like reach out to him. He's on my Discord. Aaron Delsey, I believe. What was I saying though? Yeah, he came through here and he's like, okay, like at some point we were just doing a bunch of like classes and abstract classes and building like an old school object-oriented programming type of game. But then we tried to switch to a different approach where we use like components and extensions. So he's been doing really great. But let's see, I think you can stream any resolution on Twitch. First thing, totally fine to just use packages. However, convention is to have your apps, site services you deploy in apps and shared libs and things and packages. to have your apps, sites, services you deploy in /apps, in shared libs and things in /packages. I see what you're saying. So my next app should live in apps / what would you call it? Site, I guess. My game server, which is like the WebSocket server written in Node, that would be apps / WSS or something, or game server. I think that makes sense. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people, I don't have my Twitch thing open, but since you're here, I might as well code a little bit. I'm not going to stream forever tonight, and remind me to like raid someone else before I just close the stream. I keep forgetting to raid other people. But anyway, this is the code I'm working on. Right now we're doing testing. A very exciting topic. Well, let me turn off my phone. Hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow as well. So we're trying to write a Vitest, and I'm writing a simple test that like sets up an entity. So I'm creating a zombie, a bullet. I'm overlaying them on top of each other, and then I want to update them. So technically, like when I have these, I can say entity manager.add entity, the bullet and the zombie, and then I just want to run update. So I'm trying to create like the bare minimum to get this working. So, oh, wait a second. I stashed. Let me go back. I wanted to show you guys the game. That's the game. Let's stop that. And then we're going to go here and we're going to say npm, I think it's just npm test, right? It's easier to SSH or cd into the directory sometimes. Wait, what did I call it? I think I call it Vitest. Why did I call it Vitest? Let's go to the game server and okay, that was the issue. I didn't actually pop the stash. Okay, so this is the issue we're running into. And I think it's related to like imports, modules. A weird error. Basically, I'm trying to create a map manager, and then that thing loads in a tree entity. And then when it tries to initialize the tree, it like fails with this weird class extends value undefined is not a constructor or null. If you look here, I mean, this thing's a class. It extends an abstract class here. This tries to import it from entities. We got generic entities. So I'm not really sure what this error is. I mean, if anyone knows, let me know. That'd be cool. I probably will not figure this out on stream, honestly. And then we started asking Cursor, like, hey, what could this potentially be? And then it said, like, well, that's just an issue with like importing or whatnot. Let me copy this. What's up? Thanks for the follow. The error suggests that the entity is not properly imported in the tree.ts file. The error, class extends value undefined, is not a constructor or null, typically occurs when trying to extend a class that hasn't been imported correctly. Here's how to fix the tree.ts file. Add this import at the top, inside of tree. Really? Is that all it takes? Well, I gotta make sure. So I think I have two files called tree because why not just make your code confusing? But if I were to do, oh, I can just click this. What am I doing? I thought you can click it. Yeah, it's a tree item. Bro, okay, let's just go here. Okay, so putting that at the top, I don't think that would fix it. Seems kind of dumb. I think this is a situation where AI thinks it's smart, but it's not. Like, why would that fix anything? Class entity at the bottom. And then someone was saying that, like, probably because I don't have like a Vitest or like a Vitest config or something, or TS config. I don't know. Never have to raid if you don't stop streaming. Oh, that's a good point. Not just NX, but yup. Vitest, my bad. Vitest. Can you show tree.ts? It's more than likely a circular dependency. If it's up to date, I'll pull it to see what I can fix it. It's up to date. Oh, I can push this. Is that what you're asking? No problem. I can push this. So we'll just check out a new branch, and I'm gonna say trying to add tests. And we're gonna go ahead and add all this, and then we're gonna commit adding some initial integration tests, and then we're gonna go ahead and push it. Okay, do I have to actually type that? Okay. Yeah, there it is. That's the branch name. Trying to add tests. All that code, if you want to play around with it, would be appreciated. Here's the branch name. I expect results in 5 minutes, or else you're going to get a performance review plan. Oh, performance improvement plan, my bad. Does a lib not include its dependencies when it's imported? I mean, it seems like everything's connected. I have 3 problems in the terminal. Maybe that's related. So I have the entity factory. That's just complaining about stuff. These are like errors I need to fix, but they're not actually like big errors. Socket manager. I bet you it's related to this too. Like, it's probably like one of these is doing like an absolute import, and then it just like doesn't work. Probably just broke the game with that change, but that's what makes it fun. You just change a little bit of code somewhere and you break your entire application. And then you spend 3 hours trying to debug a different bug, and then you realize, oh, I have this little thing I broke. So why you commit small and often, so that when you get the code to a working state, just commit it. Okay, so we can go with that hunch that it's a circular type of dependency issue. Or we could go to Google. Maybe Google can tell us what the issue is. Hey, what's up, Floor and Pop? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thanks for the follow. Back to Stack Overflow. Coding like it's 2015. Note that it seems that the circular reference is also limited between files. Okay, I'm circularly importing classes. Dang, man. I hope you do better. I mean, I hope you feel better. Hope you get well. Yeah, so it's just a matter of like, I think I just need to find the circular dependency. No root ts config also. I mean, do you think that's the issue? I once deleted something. Thought I press undo, bring back that one line of code encoded for like 30 minutes only to have to undo all of it for that one line. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten to the habit, like every time you save a file, go to the UI, just check it. Run the command. If the system is small enough where you can have that rapid feedback loop and you're not doing a bunch of testing, like every time you save a file, go to your UI and just like verify it again. Because there's so many times where it's like you break stuff on accident when you're trying to add a feature or fix a bug. I have 118 uncommitted files in my work tree right now. Yeah, that's a little crazy. I would probably try to find ways to break down your work into smaller, committable chunks. That's just me, though. I mean, you can just keep on adding on files. It's fine. If you're not working with a team, or even if you are, work with a team, you know, do 200 uncommitted files, make a nice big PR, make some friends at work that way. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Yeah, that's what the test should save you from. But then writing the test and maintaining the tests ends up screwing you over sometimes, you know? Like a balancing act. Ideally, unit tests should tell you everything still works. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's actually true. I've seen so many passing unit tests and then the app is still broken. I think integration tests and end-to-end tests truly tell you that your app is working decent. I think unit tests are good for the edge cases. Like you have an API endpoint that needs to connect to an S3 bucket and fetch a file. What if you get back some arbitrary AWS error? That's when you want to use a unit test to mock out that scenario so you actually catch it and handle it properly. But I wouldn't say unit tests are pointless, though. They're very, very useful. I just don't think they don't provide the value like people like to talk about them. It's a circular dependency because if you log entity at the top of free, it's undefined. Have you done any WASM? I have not. Entity manager imports shared/entities, which imports entities manager. Okay, thank you for that. I think that would actually fix the issue. Well, it's easy to get coverage for unit tests, but they should be honest unit tests that actually verify important things. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I think as engineers, we want to write the tests that verify the correct things. I think just sometimes we might have requirements that say our code has to be a certain percentage of coverage, and then you end up just writing tests for the sake of tests instead of like, man, if I were like refactor this function, would this test help me or not? Because what I've seen, okay, so unit test, what I've seen is like it just makes stuff so hard to refactor. If you have a small function that doesn't have much mocking in it, then yeah, you could just basically, like, let's find like a player entity here. And then this calls update player, right? I could potentially make this public or find a way. Well, that's another scenario where it's like, if you read books about unit testing, they say do not test public or private methods. So I can't test this, right? And then if you just make a bunch of smaller functions and make them public, now you're just exposing stuff for the sake of testing. So the unit, in my opinion, is this whole player class, and you should be able to test what is going on inside of this simply by just calling the public methods. And like, for example, I would probably call update player, or sorry, I think this has a public method that's kind of implicit with this updatable. This is like called, so I can get the updatable extension and invoke it, which would call the update player. And then this is stuff I could actually unit test a little bit. Is this an online game? Yeah, it's going to be. I worked on a team that chased 90% coverage. Yeah, I think we, I I think our projects require 90% coverage. What stack is this? This is TypeScript and Node for the WebSocket server. Okay, but this banana guy, I appreciate you if this is the correct solution. Entities manager imports shared entities, which imports entities manager. So the entities are importing the entity manager, which is problematic. And so it's almost like I can't bring in the entity manager here because it creates a circular reference. Is there a different way we can test this? Or I could try to figure out how to not have circular references. I mean, this is probably why like inversion of control containers, whatever it's called, are very useful here. So if I got rid of the entity manager, well, then the map manager imports it too. And the entity manager imports all these entities. I was like, yeah, you can't. Right now, I can't easily test this. I could, okay, we could potentially just do away with some of the stuff. Like, okay, let's say we didn't construct these things. Wow, 1,600 followers. Nice. Thank you for helping me hit my goal, everyone. My goal that I didn't set, that Twitch set for me. But I appreciate you all. Bro, you know the days you're like, coding's just not going to happen today. Like, your brain's fried. I'm there. But yeah, I mean, I guess like, isn't this a circular reference too? Like, I'm importing zombie. Zombie imports entity manager. Entity manager imports zombie again, probably, does it? No. I guess it's complaining about tree. Put everything in one file, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's actually, you know, I'm not going to discount that good idea, okay? Every idea is a good idea. I'll just put it at the back of the backlog so I can address it. I could try it later on. It's a good idea, though. We'll put it in there. Don't worry. So it's not just Golang that can't handle circular imports. I've got it working, WebDev Cody. I'll type up what you need to do. See? This is why I pay you all. Well, I guess you guys sub to me, so you're paying me, and then you give me some feedback and fix my problems. So I've got it working. Created shared entities and shared generic entities and move the entity. All right, I gotta focus. Let me zoom in because I'm blind. Create the shared entity and shared generic entity and move the entity and generic entity from shared entities to those files, and then update all your imports everywhere to use those files. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this because I want to work smart, not hard. I'm going to go and I'm going to go to Composer and I'm going to go ahead and just do this. And let's just see what happens. We could probably wait here for 20 minutes because for some reason this thing fails every time I run it. I thought I had a generic entity already. Oh, I guess not. I'm going to time box this. If this thing keeps on failing to do simple stuff. I already have that directory. Yeah, I'm lazy, so I let AI code for me sometimes. But why is it failing so much? Cannot read my files. See? We wait 2 minutes so that it can create the files for us instead of me having to ever create a file. And that saves me from getting carpal tunnel. And for that, we appreciate you, AI. We appreciate you. Let's see what it's doing. So it made this generic entity, which basically took hopefully all the code and didn't leave anything out from my other file and put in this one. Could I have done this myself? I probably could have, yeah. What's it doing here? So it's removing these files. It's because this thing imports entity manager is what you're saying. Oh, I see. Water break. I'm gonna let my junior engineer do this for me. While I can keep talking to you all. You can verify this with Deep Cruiser. Basically, get rid of shared entities, exports, and split them into separate files since shared entities imports entity manager. Before you do that, you should run. Oh, he even made a pull request. That's service. Do you have like a website for tips? Like how much do you think would be a good amount? 15%? On my microtransactions? You think that's a good trade-off or? All right, let's do some professional code reviewing right now. So we have Entity Manager. He updated this. He moved some stuff from shared entities into their own files like he's saying in Twitch chat. Let's go ahead and say, yep, I viewed it. And then what happened here? He basically did the same thing AI is doing for me in splitting out into different files. Did you do this yourself or did you let AI do it? So I'm going to make a PR with my AI results, and if it's the exact same, we're going to have some problems. Okay. Boundary, he went through bullet. Fire. Okay, so this is just basically changing what it's importing. Looks good to me. And then I'll let it sit there for like 5 days and I'll come back to it. Let's see what AI did for us though. Nothing. What did it do for us though? Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. It changed some stuff. It also did the entities. Did that one. Generic entity. The bullet. Layer. Okay, I mean, this is just doing like the renames of the imports, I believe. What did it do here? It deleted everything from this. Okay, let's do this. Expirable. Yeah, did you rename the generic entity imports too? Did I miss that? Because you should have updated the extensions too. I'm not seeing the extensions being updated because I think the extensions, some of them at least depend on generic entity, right? proof I didn't use AI. It is proof, okay? No, but really, I do appreciate you making this PR. Like, that's awesome, man. I'll check it out. I'm going to check it out and I'm going to try it. But I'm curious, like, okay, maybe my thing just breaks. Okay, let's just go ahead and, the thing is I'm going to stash this. What do you, let's just revert this crap. Cursor, you let me down. I expected it to be perfect, but you just let me down. So we can check out this. Honestly, I don't really work in open source, I'll be honest with you all. So I forget how I can actually check out his branch. I could just merge it into my branch, which is like I'd have to, I think if I wanted to actually try his, don't I have to like check out his fork and try that? Or can I just like reference some type of I don't know what it's called, whatever, let's just merge it. Okay, I guess I didn't do that yet for some reason. All right, let me just fix these real quick. Oh, why is it changing it? Hold on. Let's not change this. Broadcaster, get socket manager. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that. All right, let's just run it. I don't know why I'm trying to mess stuff up. He said it works. So let's do it. My man, he saved the day. He saved the day. I know there's people out there who are so smart and they could be making content, but you guys are stuck with like people like me. Okay? You guys could be making some phenomenal content because you guys solved that issue in 5 seconds. Just saying. I'm just saying. If you feel like you're pretty good at coding, I would make some content just for fun, see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? All right, anyway, so it expected 2, we received 3. So like the test is not working. Why would this not be working? Got the zombie, we got the bullet, then we update the bullet. The bullet should have hurt the zombie. Oh, I know what the issue is, entity manager. I have to add the entity man. Okay, then I need to like entity manager update. Okay, there we go. What am I missing here? What am I missing here? We have a zombie. We have a bullet. They're right over each other. We added them. It hurt. It's supposed to hurt the zombie. The destructible from the zombie. Get the health from the destructible. Expected to be decremented by 1. Then also it should have removed the bullet. Is it even removing the bullet? Not. This game doesn't have achievements. I don't want to know anything about it. Bro, I'm gonna have custom skins. Like you could pay me like $20 and I could have you could have your own little character running around. And I'll give you an achievement for just buying a custom skin. It's gonna be awesome, man. Code Fellowship, what's going on? This is like my 3rd open source software PR, so I have no clue either. You'll need to fix more imports to get the entire thing to compile, but the tests work because of a smaller dependency tree. I've dealt with circular dependencies at work too many times, so it's easy to recognize. Telltale symptom is this obviously imported thing that shouldn't be undefined is undefined. Hey, I appreciate that. I don't know why I haven't ran into many circular dependencies. I just... Yeah, I don't know. I guess you don't really hit that with like React, Next.js, Web API programming. What do you do for work? Like, do you work on a desktop app or something? Anyway, yeah, so like, can we get this working before I get tired? I think the next thing we could probably do is like add some console logs, or we could add a debugger. Can I do a debugger with, I think I can. What I could do is, I'm gonna put a debugger here. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it over here too. Put it here, just throw a couple of debugger statements in, right? And then we're gonna go to run and debug. I'm gonna open up a JavaScript terminal, and then I'm gonna go to packages, game server, test. That's gonna attach the debugger, and then I can step through my tests. Very useful. Learn how to use this. So now I'm adding the zombie, I'm adding the bullet, and then we're about to update. But before we look at the update function, let's check this out. Got some entities on it. The bullet is a 1. The zombie is ID of 0. It should have an extension on it. That extension should be called destructible, and it should have a health, and it has 3. Okay, so we're going to dive into this update function real quick. I know a debugger, it's scary, guys. I don't know if you guys use debuggers, but they're very useful when you like just can't figure it out yourself. So we're going to loop over and put a little breakpoint here, and then we're going to click play. And I guess I did that wrong because it should have taken me to it. But it's definitely not reducing the health of the zombie. It should have been. So that sucks. Let's just go ahead and click play. Let's try it again. Can I just restart this? I guess I could just save the file and it'll just redo it. Okay. Okay, I don't know what I did wrong there, but it should have stopped at that breakpoint. Like, kind of weird. Oh, because it never updated any of them. Get the entities. Hold on a second. It updatable. Is this old to do? This might go away after refactoring old entities to use. Yeah, I don't think I need this anymore. I think it's gone. Look at that, a little cleanup along the way. I think it's going to mess up all my debugging statements, but let's just go ahead and dive into updating the entity. It's pushing an entity to remove here. What ID? Forget how to just like, where's my console? Here it is. Entity, I need to look for entity. Where's that? Okay, maybe I could just do, how do you add the symbol? I forget. It's been a while since I've done this. Evaluate and debug console. Yeah, so typically there's like a debugger console you can use. So if I go down the debugger console, you can't see it because I don't know how to stream properly. But if you do it, it's supposed to say entity is not defined. Okay, are we passing undefined here? Seems kind of strange. Are we actually on this line? There's also a way to add it. Add symbol to add to watch. To add to watch. Here you go. Yeah, so I think this thing is just undefined. We can run this. You could also just hover over it. I don't know why it's not actually like showing anything, but yo, I totally messed up all my line numbers. Entities to remove, nothing. Sometimes you just go here. Let's just see if it's actually getting here. Save the file. Yeah, it's like not even getting in here, right? So like something is, we're never actually adding the entities. I think that's what's going on, but like I thought I was adding them. Kind of weird. So I guess we could just like try to figure out what's going on there. That should just be pushing the entity. Okay, that gets pushed into the array. This entities has a zombie and a bullet in it. Then we call update. Then we go in here. We call get entities. Is this like not working? This not get entities. Should be printing something out. Oh my gosh. Did I check chat? You guys probably already fixed my issue. What is this theme? It's bearded theme stained blue. Man, I'm so tired. I need to wrap up the stream soon. You know what? Sometimes you just don't know what to do, and you need to take a little break. But I would think that we'd be getting here. Like, I'm just gonna add a console log just for good measures to say this dot get entities. There's some type of like didn't set something up properly. Like, am I crazy? It's getting here, and then like, where's the console log for this? It's right here. Get the entity type. Here it is. Update the extensions of that entity. Pass in a delta time. That's going to loop over all the extensions. The extensions. If there's an update in the extension name, it'll go ahead and call update in that extension. So like, okay, let's just go to the bullet. And then we're going to go define the update bullet method. Is this even getting called here? Maybe that's where we should have started instead of like adding these weird debuggers everywhere. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. Okay, let's just stop all these things. It's getting to update bullet, get the last distance, handle intersections, and then it's going to look through is enemy this like entity get nearby intersecting destructible entities. Is that actually getting set? It's not. So it doesn't think it's colliding with the zombie. I wonder why. The zombie is 16 by 16. So if I just put this dead center 5, 5, or even like what's 16 is like 8, 8, and then ran this, still not getting it. Get nearby destructible. If there's no spatial grid, return. Let's just go here real quick. Just throw random debuggers everywhere. There is no spatial grid. Okay, crap. Okay. So yeah, the issue is that I need to actually set up the spatial grid. So the entity manager, it calls update, and then it refreshes the spatial grid. I almost feel like it needs to refresh the spatial grid first before it calls update. That's still not working, huh? Okay, so what sets the spatial grid? And this is the map manager, so I think this dot spatial grid equals the set map size. That gets called where? That's kind of weird. I don't know why we have to do that. This dot entity generate map. Ooh, this is gonna be a fun one. Map manager dot generate map. Let's see if I generate the map first. What happens? Debugger attached. Why is it not actually like breaking anywhere? Okay, let's go back here. We're gonna go bullet updatable. I don't know what happened to my debugger, but lost it again. Hey, thanks for the follow. Okay, so now it's not even getting there. I think this is crashing. Is socket manager is not set. Okay, so again, there's like an ordering issue here where I think. Can you start from the very beginning? Yeah, no problem. I can remember where the beginning was. I think what I'm doing is when I set up the game, I think I do like an entity manager.set socket manager or something. I need to rethink what I'm doing here. I feel like this setup is a little bit convoluted just to get a test working. This is how we do it when the server actually spins up. We're getting the entity manager, then the map manager, set the socket manager. That's something that's missing, which kind of weird. I mean, this should just be passed in the constructor, I think. But I mean, for right now, we'll just go ahead and roll with what we got. Set the entity manager, set the map manager. I don't need to call those in socket manager because it doesn't matter. Set socket manager. Does this thing need? The only time it's used is when it makes entities. So I think actually this thing could also just be a broadcaster. Let's try this. See what that breaks. I'm gonna break everything. Map manager set socket manager. It takes in a socket manager. Make that depend on an interface instead. Just so it doesn't need to know so much. I guess this is a reason why you want to use test-driven development is because like the test at your code, sometimes it needs to be structured in a very particular way. Otherwise, you're into situations where it's like, I can't test this because it depends on something else, and that depends on this. And like to get this test working, I got to mock out all these things. And so if you're testing from the start, it just makes your code more decoupled, easier to test, from my opinion. Let's see if this works. Oh, it's still attached in the debugger. Okay. Spatial grid set now. We've made some progress, right? And if we run this, it has an array of 4702. We made some progress. That's good. Get entities to remove. Hey, thanks for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Bro, I just want to get this working before I end the stream. Like that's it. anyway, so let's go back to the bullet, and then let's go to like this one. Well, let's actually not go to that one. Let's go here. Add another debugger and save this. Get rid of that one. I know the spatial grid's working. We got back a zombie. That's good. With an ID. Well, I don't know why the ID is so high. Oh, I do know why. Because I'm generating the full map. So I think I might need to have like a test map. And the test map could just be a very small arena. Like, you know, 16 by 16 tiles. So I can put things on this test map. And then I can update the map. My test may know too much about my game. Maybe not. We'll find out. This is the first test, right? You don't know if you're doing something correctly until you start getting into the details of what you're working on. But I got the zombie back. That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and loop over. Get the first entity. It marks that zombie for removal, and then it damages it. So if I dive into this, I'm going to reduce the health of the zombie now to 3. Health is 2. Okay, yeah, from 3 to 2. Awesome. So yeah, we're making some progress. We just need to figure out why is my test entities to remove. Bullet ID 4695. Entities to remove. Doesn't seem like it thinks. Okay, I mean this one's working. That test passes. Hold on, so let's do this. If I just stop this, npm test. Okay, we got it passing. That's good. But why? Oh, duh. This is okay. I'm stupid. That has to be it, right? One's an array. What am I doing? Okay, super simple. Okay, so refactor to use a match object type of approach. There we go. That's the ticket. This is what we do a lot at our work, where you can have an array and then you say I need it to equal an array of 1, but then you can be more like fuzzy on the matching assert. So like you can say, hey, the thing that it just needs to have an ID. Like this thing in here could have thousands of other properties. I just want it to match the ID. And I think this reads a little bit better than having to get the first entity. Could you reuse the same setup and make those 2 different tests? Yeah, I could have like Vitest is something new to me. I use Jest a lot, but Vitest I'm trying to learn. I could have like a setup script, and that setup script could spin up different things. But yeah, I don't know. The late night. Okay, the late night. These things are hard. Okay, well, I'm happy with the progress. I set off to just write 1 type of test so I can get the groundwork down for like adding tests over this game. And I think we have an initial starting point, which is good. And once you have that initial starting point, it's so easy to come through and just add more stuff. So like, for example, let's say I started a zombie off at, I'm just going to do the hacky thing. I'm going to copy paste, but I'm going to say a bullet should kill a zombie if the zombie only has 1 HP left. Nicely written description there. And then to change this, I could just say zombie.setHealth. Maybe you can't do that. I have to say get the extension of destructible. I'm going to set the health to 1. Okay. Then we add that zombie. And then we add the bullet. Again, we're going to put it over. In fact, you could change this up a little bit. Just you want to test the edge cases of like collision. We could put the bullet right at the top left of the zombie. Make sure this still works. Add it to the entity manager, and then we run it. And now the difference is that I should be able to say destructible is dead to be true or truthy. Actually, I might just say to be true. Why not? All right, and then it should remove both of these things. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't remove the zombie. The zombie doesn't get removed until I think it just changes its state. So it still tries to update the zombie because the zombie becomes a lootable type of thing that a player can interact with. So I think what we should actually say, this is going to do that. Okay. Somewhere it broadcasts that a player was, a zombie was killed. I don't remember where that is. After death, interact. Yeah, so like you have to interact with this thing for it to get removed. Is there anything else I want to test there? I mean, it should definitely remove the bullet. So it's like, I don't want to test that I'm removing the bullet because I've tested that up here, right? So like make sure you don't write the same test twice. This is testing that the thing can be set as dead, but I feel like this test is kind of pointless, right? So I need to rethink this. But one thing I could potentially do is all this setup, I could go ahead and just make a function here called like setup game, I guess. And then we're going to go ahead and just return all these things. And then I can call them. So here I could say, just call this. Hope I don't break everything. A little cleaner, right? Although I need to like not do that. Hold on. A bullet should hurt the zombie during collisions and remove itself. So this thing definitely needs to remove the bullet. Yeah, I refactored too much at once. This is something you should not do. And I let AI do it for me, so it's like breaking everything. Set the game up. Oh, this is the issue here. I'm setting the health to 1 here. So instead, I won't set the health there. I'll just set the positions, and I'll say set up bullet on top of zombie game. Might even call it a scenario. Okay, so there's a bullet and a zombie. They're both overlaying on each other. Okay, there we go. I think that's what I want to do. Now the difference here is that the zombie set health to 1. I mean, you could like make this taken in options and you can like configure it. I think it's just easier, just like, okay, just create my base entities that I need. I can like set them up as needed. That'll also be added already. And then call the update. Okay. I shouldn't have used AI to do that refactoring. Like, I think it actually caused me to take more time doing it. You know, actually, I double think that. Maybe we should just verify that the bullet also gets removed. I mean, there could be an edge case in your code where, for some reason, when it's a kill situation where it kills the zombie, the bullet remains. And so I guess it doesn't hurt to just, okay, let's assert it that it still gets removed. But this feels weird. Like, okay, we're checking if it's dead. But is there something else that we can check? Because the bullet damages it. So if I go to here and I say like, Update the bullet. Okay, it does some stuff if the enemies hurt the enemy. So all this is basically being tested. And I didn't have to like spend a bunch of time like mocking stuff out. Well, I guess I kind of did spend some time doing that, but yeah. I don't know. I think this is good. I'm getting tired. I'm happy with this. Yeah, I have a Discord. If you just go to any of my recent YouTube videos, click on the Discord link in my description. You need the first test. Second one kind of does both. Yeah, that's also another thing you should ask yourself is, are you testing the same thing? The difference is, okay, so there's more in my head that I want to test here. So like this is supposed to broadcast an event to the socket manager. And what I could potentially do is this socket manager thing, I could make it actually like a spy. I don't know how you make this a spy in Vitest. Make a spy. It's just called spy on. Okay. So I could wrap this thing with a spy and say I want to spy on the broadcast event method, assuming that AI gave me the right code. And then I can say socket manager spy. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pass that here, pass it here, pass it into the zombie. I might have to like do some stupid type stuff. Does this take generics? Can I just say like, okay, for right now I can say as broadcaster. I'm not happy with that. There might be a better way to do it. I could ask AI in a second, but the idea is we're making a spy now. In the spy, in fact, I could just go ahead and do this so that I can just pass the right thing. And then at the end, I'm going to go ahead and just like return that thing. I might just call it socket manager though. And then, what's this complaining about? Oh. All right, so that thing gets returned. And so technically what I could do here is like if the zombie is actually killed, we can just go ahead and assert that this method was called with a death event of the zombie with the zombie ID. Okay, so that adds value. That's good because I need that test to verify when a zombie dies, it broadcasts an event to the clients, and the clients can then play a sound or do whatever animation that they want. Now, obviously the tests are failing because, what is this? Probably gonna be some other pathing thing. Oh, it's probably this stuff. This .broadcaster.broadcast event is not a function. So I think maybe the broadcast event, it's a function, it's right here. Why is this thing? It's almost like this thing needs a, I'll just console log that out. I mean, it's definitely a spy. Oh wait, hold on, broadcast event, mock spy. Broadcast event is undefined. Interesting. Yeah, using AI is making me dumb. I'm admitting it now. The scary, scary thing. Alright, mock, does this have like, Yeah, this is just like the mock. We have chat is telling me the issues. Is this broadcast a socket? I mean, it uses WebSockets under the hood. I wonder why this one. Let me do a debugger instead. Maybe that can help us out here. Okay, so like this spy thing, mock implementation. Should I just use AI to help me out here? I mean, I feel like I'm not doing this right. Vi.spy on. Creates a spy on a method or a getter setter of an object similar to v.function. It returns a mock function. That's the issue. It's returning a mock function. All right, this needs to, okay, I just want to do this. I want to say socket manager, and then I want to use it, spy on it. But then I want to pass in proper thing. I think that's good. Undefined is not a spy or a call to a spy. Come on. Why is this not working? I mean, isn't this thing like, hold on, if I console log this. Broadcast event. This is a mocked function type of thing. Broadcasting events zombie hurt. Okay, it's working. It's actually calling this thing. I think my assert might just be wrong. Undefined is not a spy or a call to a spy. Undefined. I'm hoping someone watching will fix it. Because you did a sus refactor. Yeah. Creates a spy on a function, though it can be initialized. Every time a function is invoked, it stores a call argument. Oh, is that the issue? I think that might have been the issue. I'll still return the spy. No, still broken, huh? Why is this not? It's a function. Okay, so we're making progress. It's this thing's logging a function, but it's just not a spy for some reason. But up here, okay, this is not how you do it, I guess. How do I properly mock out the broadcast event method on this instantiated class object. I thought I had that though. Like I didn't have the mock implementation, and I think you needed that, but replace that with that, added mock implementation, specify what the mock should do. Okay. Creates a spy that wraps the method while maintaining the ability to trace its calls. And I thought, at least with Jest, I'm pretty sure like this thing was supposed to return. Like, what does this return? First broadcast call. Okay, so it's working. I don't know what I changed. Was it the mock implementation that changed that? No. Vitest by socket manager broadcast. Okay, I don't know why that wasn't working. That's weird. Because like now it's actually like checking. So hurt event and death event. Okay, that could be a potential issue. It's playing both hurt and death, but do I want it to play both? Oh, it's just an array. Okay. Have been called with object containing zombie hurt. I don't know if I like the way it did the zombie hurt event. Maybe I do like that. Maybe it loses the apt when it's returned from the function. Maybe it returns a copy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. If I do something like this, yeah, the spy on should be right. I don't know what's going on. That was weird. Like I swear that I had this, but I don't know. It's working now. Except I'm skipping something. So let's not skip that anymore. Yo, I'm a test engineer now. I don't know if that's an upgrade or a downgrade, but I am that now. Okay. Let's go ahead and just commit this to this branch. Make sure I didn't leave any debuggers. The whole refreshing the spatial grid stuff, I might need to revisit that. It's kind of... I'm happy with this refactoring, okay? Now I got to hook into a CI/CD pipeline so that when people make pull requests, it'll run this test. But for another stream, right? That's just another... Too much work, you know? Adding a test to verify a bullet and collide with a zombie, hurt it, and kill the zombie. Where's my branch? Trying to add tests. All right, let's just go ahead and make a pull request to my own code base. Look at that. We got more contributors on this project, and this is coming along. And now that you guys watch the stream and you know how like the code works, you guys can come in and start adding. I can be the game designer and you guys can be my engineers who I'm paying nothing to do work. But you're doing it for honor. Okay. All right, I think this is good. Let's merge it. Let's check out main. Pull that in. Go ahead and get rid of that one. And you know what we didn't do is we didn't try to run the game. Like, we could have just broken everything. And we did. Class extends. God, son of a gun. See, again, this is your tests work, but your app is still broken. I have run into this so many times through my career. Player client extends generic entity. Class extends. You know what? Whoever's watching, if you want something to fix, there it is. It's on main. I'm out of Steam. I can't do it anymore. So, good luck. If not, I'll try to do it later. You'll need to update a bunch of imports probably. That's brittle in my opinion because if you change the underlying implementation of zombie hurt event, you have to update the test too. You mean spying on the broadcaster? What's brittle about it? Yeah, let me fix the imports. I think all the I have like a bunch of problems here. Let's just see where this tries to import it from. There. Hold on. Why is this? Entity shared. Entity. Okay, there we go. Let's just do that. All these things. I think they're all in the same folder too. Oh no, they're not. Maybe. Boy, where? Okay, this thing's to be called entity, right? Okay. Why am I struggling so much? What is going on here? Like, it's literally just anywhere I'm doing entities, like all these imports, right? I just need to say /entity. But this one would be generic entity, right? Yes, I should probably just do like a find replace. Might be easier. I sometimes like doing it by hand though. I don't know why. That was fun. npm run dev. Son of a... This thing is not exported from game server anymore. Shared entities. Yeah, buddy. Oh, my game crashed. What did I just do? You know what? I gotta... It's been 2 hours of a stream. This is good. I'm gonna commit it all. Straight to main. I'm too tired. And I need to get off. So, thank you all for joining the stream. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys had fun watching me struggle. Trying to refactor a little bit of code, write some tests. The game is still broken, but if someone wants to make a PR before I decide to work on it, I will merge it. If I beat you to it, then at least you got some experience trying to fix some other person's code. Yeah, I'm gonna try to stream next Sunday I usually do it in the morning. So Sunday, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., depends. Cool, man. Oh, I need to rate before I leave.
The problem.
I hate how Twitch autoplays when you, like, why? You should never autoplay music when you open up a web application. Disrespectful. Okay, so let's go to my creator dashboard. And then I want to raid. How do I raid? That's just like /raid, isn't it? Oh, can I do it here? /raid browser. Raid browser. Do I just enter it? Oh yeah, okay. Who should I raid? Oh, I should probably share my screen, right? Similar or smaller size, search. Filter by tag. Game development. Wait, are you guys English? Do English. We could do TypeScript. You think anyone's streaming with TypeScript? Nope. Of course not. Who would use TypeScript to build a game? Honestly, I don't really care. I'm just going to click somebody. Let's just do this guy. What's he doing? 3D printing. Okay, no, I just want to do that guy. Stream settings and stuff. Ravenfall dev test. Okay, whatever. Cool, man. Thanks for joining, guys. And stay tuned if I ever stream again. Have a good night.